Hi. Joining me today is Ruslan Serebryakov, Senior Smart Contract Engineer at Trust Wallet. Welcome, Ruslan.
Hi, nice to meet you.
My first few questions are about yourself. Tell me, when and how did you first get into crypto?
I think for me, I had like three stages of entering into crypto. The first one was still back in uni in Ukraine. We had a class on like Bitcoin and mining. It was like in 2014 or 15, I guess. That's when I first heard about it. I was like just like curious, but never really looked into that and I would not invest even because I was quite poor. So I think back then I just looked into that and then forgot. And then shortly, maybe around 2017 is when I heard again about crypto and started researching more and investing a lot. That was also kind of short time because I think I stopped being interested around like 2018 when the things got quiet. And then at the end, I guess in around 2020, 2021, that's where I got back into crypto again. And then I researched more about different projects. I started looking more into smart contract blockchains, into ERC20 tokens and everything. And that's basically the time when I'm still there. And that is basically when I found how great the technology of like token and smart contracts, where you basically can run like 20 lines of code and manage billions of assets. And that's why I'm still there, because I got excited about that.
Mm-hmm. So you've been in the space, basically in and out of it for quite a long time. What's the most ridiculous thing that you've done or experienced in crypto?
I think overall, like when you are trading different tokens and different like even like shit coins, you do lots of different ridiculous things. That was something that I was really into like back in 2021. So I'd research different random projects and see how they go. I think one of the most ridiculous ones was I found a funny trend that every time Elon Musk tweets something in his Twitter, there is a token created, like a fan token of that tweet, and it instantly goes like 10x. So what I did, I just like set the Twitter notification for Elon Musk account, and then every time he tweets something, I search Telegram, like the group of the project that's being created. I see like they're about to release a token. I buy it now, then I sell it like 10x 2 hours later. And then I did it a few times until it stopped working, but that was fun. I think that was a fun time, like back in 2021, where like lots of crazy things were happening. Yeah.
Cool. Was there ever a moment when you thought that you didn't want to have anything to do with crypto, when you considered leaving the crypto space for good?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think there have been moments where I maybe just tried to not look at price charts and like just like kind of be in a stealth mode for a while, but not really like exit crypto at all. Because I think like the last time I entered crypto, I got so excited that I just like stayed there. So no, not really.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest achievement and biggest fiasco in crypto?
I would say my biggest achievement is working in Trust Wallet. I guess I think it's a pretty unique company in a way that it is very small. We have like 20, 30 people, but also so basically it is like a startup. We have startup culture. We have everything is very simple. There is no corporate stuff, but at the same time we don't have any like startup issues. Like we need to raise funds for VCs. We have like some deadlines or whatever because we are backed by Binance. So we are still a startup inside the Binance. That's how we get the freedom to experiment on anything and build whatever we want and whatever we think is needed. So I think it's a very unique place to work, and it's quite an achievement that I get to like work on probably the biggest mobile wallet right now already in the market. The second was about fiasco, right? Yeah. Okay, I think it's also kind of funny. So in Binance, we earn salary usually in like crypto, like BUSD. And I think in the beginning of the year, I was like, why do I need to store BUSD with like such a low APR when I can buy UST and stake it for 20% APR for all my salary? And you know how it ended.
Oh, well, I feel sorry, really.
That is fine.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people. Well, let's change gears now and talk about Trust Wallet a little bit. You said it's probably the biggest crypto wallet in the market. If you had to describe it in very few words, what advantages of Trust Wallet would you stress?
I think our biggest advantage is our focus on multi-chain. So unlike probably lots of other solutions, we were never focused on some specific technology or some specific chain. So right now we support 68, 69, I think already blockchains. So just basically everything that is popular on the market. So it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cosmos, even Aptos just like a few days ago. In addition to that, we always try to add the new potential projects too. So for the simple user, right, you don't want to have a different seed phrase for different blockchains, like your funds on Solana, your funds on like Ethereum. You want to have everything at one place. And that's what we basically provide you with, one single endpoint for the whole Web3 ecosystem. And there are many other things like we've been like proof with time. We done a lot of security audits, so we are sure we can say that we are quite safe. And we have a strong team that is adding all the new things that are in Web3 constantly in our functionality.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What's next for Trust Wallet? Are there any features that you can announce, or probably are there plans to expand it to more blockchains?
Yeah, we are constantly expanding to new blockchains, that's for sure. But I think one of the biggest features that has been always requested for us is to have a browser extension. Because for now we've been always mobile only, and we exist on iOS and Android. But I think the biggest chunk, the pretty big chunk of crypto wallet users are still prefer browser extensions. So that's something we've been working in the past year, and I think it will be coming very soon. It's already kind of like a beta testing. I think everyone can sign up for that, and we are planning to do the big release in the coming weeks. So that is the biggest thing on right now. I think another, it's not something that it will be something specific, but something that we really want to improve is basically we have a vision that we support these 69 blockchains. There are millions of assets on these 69 blockchains, and we want our users to be able to swap easily from any asset that we support to any other assets that we support. So we do a little bit that with OneInch, but we are also looking into either building our own things or maybe exploring some other solutions, basically doing big research work to achieve this ultimate goal. Let our users swap from anything we support to anything else that we support.
Mm-hmm. No, quite an ambitious task. You've mentioned the browser extension. Speaking about crypto wallets in general, apart from browser extensions, what other features do you think are most vital at this point and probably going forward?
I think one of the biggest things to improve for crypto wallets is the private key not private key management, but basically the key management in general. You know how it's been more than 20 years of internet, and every time we try to tell users, please do not write your password on the piece of paper. And now crypto wallets comes and they say, please write your seed phrase on the piece of paper and store it in a secure place. What is that? I think that is also a big blocker for the wide adoption, because I think half of our CS tickets are people who lost their seed phrase, because it's a hard concept, and it shouldn't be that, it should not be that hard to use crypto wallet. So I think that is one of the biggest challenges that wallets has to address at this point. There are different solutions. There are smart contract wallets, there are social recovery, there are MPCs, lots of different things. We also try to look into that. But there has to be a solution to this seed phrases problem for sure. I think, to be honest, overall, the crypto wallets will. So in the next market cycle, for example, when the issues like that with the convenience of access are solved, that's where the wallets will go on the next level for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now let's move to some more general topics about crypto. We are apparently in a bearish cycle, and many people on the development side say they are enjoying this cycle. Are you enjoying it? What are your expectations from this bearish cycle?
Sure. Yeah, I never understood this like concept of enjoying like a bear cycle. I kind of enjoy chaos, to be honest. But different people are different, I guess. But I think there is a bear market. There is a bear market, but it's only a bear market in terms of price action. In terms of building, there are lots of things like happening right now on the blockchain. There is like this new Aptos Sway blockchains. There are always like all the projects that we really like need to look into to integrate all of them. So I think lots of stuff is happening right now. I think with this cycle, as with all the previous cycles, the strongest thing that comes out of it is even like bigger adoption at the next bull run. So I think the psychology is simple, and probably I used to think the same. It's like when the next bull run comes, lots of people who were skeptical about crypto, they're like, okay, this has not died, so probably it's really potential. I need to look into this finally. And that's how every single cycle there is like exponential increase of adoption happening. So I think the next bull run we will see like really huge adoption on that. And overall, I think in terms of crypto wallets, we have a lot of centralized exchanges right now, and centralized exchanges are kind of still probably the main thing for people to access crypto. But in my opinion, it's just a temporary solution because the whole point of crypto is decentralization. And why centralized exchanges exist is just a quick fix for the solution of convenience of access, because it's like easy, you just sign up with your email and you can buy crypto, right? When the crypto wallets that are fully decentralized and they're non-custodial, they will reach the same convenience levels at the centralized exchanges, and they can offer the same convenience and the same proposition as centralized exchanges do. That's when like there is no need in centralized exchanges, because now we can achieve everything we want, but also in the centralized way, which was the original purpose of creating Bitcoin and like working on the blockchain space in general. So I hope maybe very soon in the next cycle we will see crypto wallets become more sophisticated, and that's where they start compete with centralized exchanges, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. What is your take on stable coins? In the wake of the UST disaster, is it at all possible that we'll see another promising algorithmic stablecoin?
Yeah, to be honest, the main reason why I liked Terra Luna project and UST stablecoin is that was the first attempt to fully detach ourselves from fiat, right? So if you compare with other stable coins that are still backed by traditional finance, that was like the first really full detachment from that world. So that was quite exciting, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't work. I think one of the things that we can note is there is always a demand for this kind of detachment from traditional finance in crypto. And when there is demand, there will be always a proposition, because basically there are two components. People want to store value somewhere, and also they want to detach from traditional finance. So I think if there is a demand, there will always be a proposition in the future. And probably the proposition will be much stronger than the same UST, because now people are kind of like, they got burned by that, they are aware by that. So the next product has to be like next level of security. So I'm looking forward to that, to see what's happening. It doesn't have to be, I mean, we are talking about algorithmic stablecoin. It doesn't have to be algorithmic. Maybe it's not going to be stable, but there is something that has to be detached from traditional finance and store the value, and in a good way.
Mm-hmm. You just mentioned security. Speaking in more general terms, what do you think can be done to improve the security of crypto products? Because all the time we hear about some security breaches or attacks. on a crypto project, and regular users get an impression that crypto is insecure and you could easily get hacked. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, for your last point, I actually really like the analogy with airlines and air traffic, in a way that maybe 100 years ago, flying airplane was a very adventurous and super dangerous thing, and it's a really scary thing to do when you're like 1,000 kilometers above the earth. But right now we are at the stage where airline, like traveling by airplane, is much safer than driving a car, right? And why that happens? Because there were many years of learnings, many years of unfortunate failures, and the industry was diligently learning by the mistakes that they did before. At the point where right now they're in such perfection that they know every possible mistake that might happen, and there's always a mechanism to kind of deal with that problem. That's why traveling by airplane is so safe. So I think with crypto it's very similar. Actually, crypto has a big advantage. It's so open that it's being targeted by like thousands of hackers every day. And that's how with every year blockchain technology, smart contracts, they get more and more bulletproof and more safe. So we are early, so of course it's unstable and sometimes insecure, but we just need the time. And when technology learns a lot about the mistakes and everything, then it will become probably like the safest way to store money. I think one of the ways where it goes is like, a couple years ago, the smart contracts, they were only possible to be written in Solidity. Not really, but the Solidity was the majority, the most popular language to write smart contracts. And now there are new languages like Move coming, and they learn from the previous mistakes of Solidity. So a lot of like issues that you could have easily made by writing smart contract in Solidity, it's impossible to make these issues in like new languages because they learn from previous mistakes. And that's exactly like the example of how the technology is evolving for the future. So it's looking bright, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is your take on the future of Bitcoin? Is it going to remain pretty much a store of value, or could it become a proper means of payment?
Yeah, we just talked about the store of value kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that Bitcoin is another solution. How do you detach yourself from the traditional finance and store the value? And it's quite good if you want to store the value relatively to like other blockchain projects, but it is very volatile at the moment, and that's why people use it, I don't know, probably more for speculation purposes than for storing the value actually. So I think that is one of the things about Bitcoin, that it has to become probably more stable, and then it can serve this purpose of like, and the request of society to have something detached from the fiat that they can just store the value there and don't worry about that. To be honest, I was never like a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm much more into like smart contracts and the blockchain technology in general. So for me, Bitcoin is just another project on the blockchain, and Bitcoin is not equal to like crypto or blockchain. So maybe there will be something better in the future, who knows? So I just like really into technology, and I want to see what's happening next.
And my final question is about mass adoption of crypto. What do you think? How far away are we from a time when payments in crypto will become a daily routine for regular people?
Yeah, sure. So I think there is two challenges in the wide adoption for any kind of product, to be honest. It's the convenience and trust. So convenience is, I think both of those is something that has to be improved in crypto and will be improved in the future. As for convenience, there has to be a better UI, UXs, better ways to access blockchain, like the seed phrases, for example. Something has to replace that and make it more simple. And another big part is, of course, regulations, because the good regulations makes it more convenient to accept payments by some parties. And of course, the trust has to be earned, and the trust is basically the matter of education as well, to make people understand how this whole technology works and what can they expect from that and what are their responsibilities. So I think there is a good improvement in both sides. We can just look at the history and how the evolution happens in different spectrum of technology. So it always takes like 10, 20 years for things like Uber, I don't know, Facebook to become widespread and adopted. But again, for me, even like if you look at the payments, as I said, Bitcoin is not blockchain. Also, payment is not blockchain. So except for payment, there are so many use cases for the blockchain that might get adopted even like faster. You know, like NFTs, NFT tickets, gaming. There's like lots of other things that can be built with smart contracts that we might not even know about yet, that will appear in the nearest future. So I think we need to watch out, and maybe crypto as not payment but something else will get adopted super widespreadly in like the next year. We never know.
Thank you for your insights, Ruslan.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's nice to speaking with you.